the thing is, I'm confused because they want to go out. They want out the house because I don't allow certain things in the house. Now, my wife is all for it. My wife is like, well, go. But I don't want to push my stepsons out there into the streets because that's where I came from. And born and raised in Albany, New York, in the section called Arbor Hill, where I became involved with the drugs. Thank God that there was these brothers and sisters by the name of the nation of the 5%. They saved my life. They saved my life. And they really saved my life. So what happened was, now I'm really concerned about these young stepsons of mine. We see their father, they walk past them, they won't say hi, they won't do nothing. So it's a burden on me now, not including the other 5 kids I got who went to college, got good jobs and all that stuff, stay away from the drugs and alcohol, and didn't do what I did. So I'm concerned. And I just want to know if there's anybody who got any other insight on what the hell can I do? Because I don't want them out. My wife wants them out. And she wants them out yesterday. And they're her biological kids.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for pouring that out here publicly. That says a lot about your character. Second of all, talking from the standpoint of manhood, one thing we can't do within the households, which we've done over a period of time, is compromise our morality. Certain things, certain disciplines have to be put in place when you're dealing with young men. Because the energy that they possess, they'll try you. We know that's a reality. They respond to feminine energy in our community a little different because the women in the community have become the authority figures. It's natural for a woman to want to coddle boys sometime or what have you, or the level of frustration is to push them out. Because we know the reality, people will drive by your house and shoot your house up if you allow certain things to go on in your front yard or in your household. That's just a reality that we have to deal with. So, just from one brother extending love, like just be consistent and be there for them when they need to talk to you, going through things that young men go through in the community. Because a lot of times we'll ask questions as if there was somebody else, but it's really us, right? Trying to seek that guidance and move forward to get some idea of manhood. So I would just suggest this to be a pillar of consistency and show love when they need somebody to communicate with or talk to. Because the reality is, it comes to a certain point where a woman can't raise a man. Just right, it comes to a certain point we can't raise a young lady because the energy is different and certain things are different once you come off of your porch and into society. So just to be that voice of manhood, that voice of reasoning when they go out into the community and are faced with these situations, because a lot of times, a lot of young people don't have that voice coming from a male perspective.
I want to echo my brother in saluting you, for number one, not just being able to verbalize what a lot of us here are thinking, but also to stand up where a lot of us who are not in the room have abandoned it, fallen off from the job. I also echo what my brother said as far as having the standard. There has to be the mixture of hard and soft. We're the hard. There has to be the standard, and then there has to be kindness mixed with the reproof. But are you located here or are you located in Albany? You're here. All right. And this goes for everybody else here as well. I run a business here in Syracuse. It's not a shameless plug for my business. It's not. I run a martial arts school in Shoppingtown Mall. I have 4,000 square feet. I'm open 4 days a week. They want some place to go. Anyone here, if you have a child in it with issues or youth with issues, they come train for free for an entire year. For an entire year. They train for free. But
might I add also, not to cut you off, but Sharif has been very instrumental in any time a child needs to speak. He's been right there. I've brought several,
yes,
right or wrong, several kids to speak with Sharif and ask to train, and he's there. So when he says that, he means it.
yes. But, like I said, we're the heart. So what that means is there's rules and regulations. If they want to come, there's certain things they have to do. You know, one of them is school. And I don't mean go. All right? But I put that out for everybody. All right?
I just wanted to encourage you as like just a youth pastor here, and you don't touch my spirit. I just wanted to say, you said you had 5 kids that you raised that are in college and got great jobs. You're an awesome parent. I just want to say, keep up the good work, man. This year, I just wanted to encourage you and to say that you're an awesome parent and just keep up the good work, man. That's awesome.
Hello, everybody. You probably see me running around jumping in and out of your pictures. I'm just going to be Langston today. I'm not going to plug my business. But the thing I wanted to point out that you've seen here that a lot of energized individuals have pointed out is that you do not have to be a professional. I don't want people to come away from this conversation and think you need a background in psychology or social work or as a clinician to be able to care about and love children and to love your community. There are plenty of business owners that are not social workers that could easily integrate themselves into a situation if the door was simply open to them. You know, and when I started my business, I didn't want to be somebody that worked in an impoverished neighborhood that was able to reap all the benefits and give nothing back. So like my organization has targeted children. Aside from audio technology and video, we've approached the schools consistently. I mean, I've been with Tainio neck and neck, chasing just opportunities, not money, just the opportunity to work with our neighborhood's children. And I welcome any business owner. If you need to contact me or anybody that's been here tonight, if you, or even a regular individual, you could be the guy that sweeps the floor in the gym, I don't care. If you want to get involved with these things, come to us. You know, we can't rely on organizations and every nonprofit under the sun to always have a good idea. You might be the cure. You might be a walking thing to cure this virus. And you're keeping your mouth shut because you see a wall when you see what we do. It's not like that. A community is all of us. It's not just the professionals. It's not going to be top down to fix it. It's going to come from the ground up. I just want to let you all know that.
I just want to say what this young man said is so important. All of us have different roles, and one saying that's always sticking in my mind is stay in your lane. So, no, I'm not out there with these gentlemen out on the block, but I do have the opportunity to be in some offices with some people who make some key decisions for the city and the county. So I always try to glean from them information from people who are actually on the ground. So when I'm in a conversation with people that make policy decisions, I'm able to relay that information. With that said, I think one thing to Hassan's frustration, if I'm wrong, please correct me, is that there's some dynamic going on in this community now of individuals who claim to be the experts, but are not living the reality.
Yeah.
And that's my point anytime I'm talking to people who have the ability to make decisions about money, about resources, about support. You need to get the individuals, to your point, they may not have a PhD. They may not have a master's degree. They have a street degree. And it is that degree that young people listen to and relate to. It doesn't matter how many letters you have behind your name. And the other thing in the professional field is if you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know. And find the individual, pair up with them who does know, so that you can take your expertise that you stay in your lane with, and he takes his expertise that he stays in his lane with, and we both approach the issue together. That's why trauma response is in this building. That's why you and I will have a conversation after this meeting. I bring the people around me who know, and then I take my expertise and I use it to help them do what they were going to do. The only other thing I wanted to say is I didn't want to get out of this room. Noble and I have conversations all the time, and they are precious gems. And he said, Sharon, women don't have a clue about the power they have as a tool in this issue. And I don't pretend to know that fully, but it has become a passion of mine. That as the first and only female CEO of this organization, I take that very seriously. And I have to walk before all these young women that you can be a strong woman and not compromise yourself. Does that mean I didn't make mistakes? Heck no. I made a bunch of them. And I'll be the first to tell you I did. But his discussion with me outside, you know, looking to see what was going on in the neighborhood has stuck with me. And I'm going to continue to glean. What role do we as women have? One, as the perpetrator, because a lot of this violence has to do with women posting nonsense on Facebook. What role do we have as both the perpetrator and then the person that can prevent it? And I think that once we're able to, with Helen and whoever else wants to come around this issue with me, begin to equip our young women, old women, grand women to understand how much power we have, I think it's not going to solve it, but it'll be one more tool. One more tool, because when we have this conversation, it never includes women. And women need to be part of this discussion, beyond the mourning mother at a gravestone.
Well, I'm glad Sharon said that about the women in the community, and talk about our conversations that we have, because truth be told, they're worse than the young boys. When you start to deal with them on that level, I'm not equipped to do it. Like I said earlier, I'm not a woman, right? So it has to take a strong group of women to harness that energy to be the example, because we come through the women to get to this third dimension reality. If they all screwed up, a child is as perfect as the mother is. And I'll leave it at that.
Before she asks her question, I just wanted to say that this is a 3-part series. So actually, the next panel is on December 12th at the YMCA Zonta's house. Everybody that put their email, that's why it's so important for you guys to sign in, because I'm going to email all the information to everybody. And we're dealing with women in the life and women in the streets, because it's a very important topic, like everybody said, that nobody really talks about. We spend a lot of time with these young men talking about, the young men, but we never talk about the young women, and they're facing their own problems and their own obstacles, and if no one addresses that and helps them, then we'll all be trying to save a bunch of boys and leave the girls out there to fend for themselves. So it's very important that we talk about the women, and once again, it's December 12th, and it's at YMCA's Zonta House. But I'll email everybody the information, and hopefully everybody can come up. Get you.
Real quick.
Okay, no, I wanted to, I wanted to echo what Sister Sharon said, but there's an African proverb that says, when spiders unite, they can tie up a lion. We got a lion loose in this community. And the women, we know, and a lot of the women have been doing some of the things. I wrote a column a few weeks ago, and I pointed my finger at the men, okay? And then another column, I said I'm pointing 3 fingers back. Okay, because it's everybody's issue. I mentioned in the column, there's a man, his name is Sylvester Jennings. He's a janitor up at Roberts School, and he's like the Pied Piper to these little kids. When they're changing classes and stuff, these kids